Alright. Let's go. Oh goodness, there's no plug, no sound coming in. Oh, and then I've got to click that, which then also stops that. Fabulous. Okay. We're ready. So, thank you all very much for joining me on this lovely early Sunday morning at 8:37 a.m., which is super early for me, and I would rather be snuggled up in bed. And to be honest, there's nothing stopping me from snuggling up in bed, but I've got a day of baking ahead. Well, it's not really baking, it's more like mixing dairy together to make some cheesecakes. But anyway, so today we have a lovely bowl of Rice Krispies. So that's that. Once again, washing down with a cup of tea. Can't hold it up because it's like right up at the brim, and as soon as I go whoop, then it's just going to tip all over myself. And then I've got my 2 cups of water, because as I go along I realise 1 cup of water is not enough. But anyway, okay, so that's my setup today. Got my phone in case someone decides to text. It happens once every 5 months, but okay, you never know, and today's going to be the day. And let's just get straight on into it. Okay, let's go. So first fight of the day is Shido. I hope you all are having a fabulous morning. I might just drop these sounds. I might just do that. My sound levels are giving me anxiety. Anyway. Then again, when it comes to like, would I rather look at things or listen to things? I'd rather look at things. And so like the visuals of something, like visuals of a movie or a game, I will notice far more than the sound. That's not to say I can't appreciate the sound, because in cases like Zelda, the sounds and music and all that are very fantastic. You do stuff like this. More so, okay, so 15, just the leitmotif, so nothing if you fucking knows how to do a good leitmotif and knows how to use it to make effectiveness, efficiency, but it's not the right word. Max effectiveness. Sorry if my crunching is a bit loud. What? Ah, my blue controller. Okay. Come on, controller, there you go. So last night's stream, should I say, which was the finishing off Superliminal, as well as then starting on the Forgotten City. Like, man, I absolutely love the Forgotten City. It is such a good game. For anyone who doesn't mind, if anyone doesn't mind walking and talking and puzzle solving, oh goodness lordy, that is good. I'm super excited to play it. I think I'll probably finish it next week. In which case then, I've got all my games lined up. Getting all my games lined up, should I say. So I think the next one after that is going to be Escape Academy, which I think is all about like escape rooms. Actually no, not I think it's all about escape rooms. It is about escape rooms. know, you're and then there's the other game I'm wanting to play, which will probably be after Spider-Man, is the Outer, or not the Outer Wilds, just Outer Wilds, not to be confused with the Outer Worlds, which I think is what a lot of people confuse with. Anyway, so I'm going to be playing that after Spider-Man, and that's going to be an interesting one to say the least, because I've mentally prepared myself. There's a scary bit. There's a very unnerving, scary bit. I might have to have like the headphones off. Or at least turned down or something, or just something. I might need my ball next to me as well, because there's giant anglerfish that like go right at you. It just doesn't look like a good time at all. And me with my fear of giant underwater animals. I mean, while it's not underwater, yeah, while it's not underwater, it's got the underwater creature part of it. Lovely. But yeah, so Outer Wilds will be after Speedman. Escape Academy, which is another like 5-hour game, will be after Forgotten City, and then I think I've got a couple of ideas. Game to play after that. But I just need to get a proper list. Because really, I'm just holding out for next year, where, or next year, so good. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. No. Oh. Get you with the kunai. Okay. Right. Shino again. Ugh. Yeah. But well, sorry, pushing my Rice Krispie. Anyway, so I am thoroughly enjoying my puzzly games. Than all my actions. Actually, because I might end it because there's a few games I want to platinum, and literally like the only there are like one trophy away from platinum. So like Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. That's what I do. So I played Kenna Bridge of Spirits on PS5, and so I finished the story. Did as much side content as I could, I guess, but didn't 100% complete it. So I've got to like finish getting all the collectibles, and I also have to finish getting all the collectibles, and also finish the game on Master Spectre, which is apparently Dark Soulsy in its difficulty. So I'm not particularly like holding my breath anytime for that. But I was thinking possibly because there's a few games like that. So like that, I've only just got the one achievement left to go, or trophy left to go. Either that, or replace a couple of DLC. Because like I said, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC I still need to do. As well as all the mastery challenges, or most of the mastery challenges. And then Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning is probably one of the games I've played the most playthroughs of. And so I've like done everything there is to see in that game. Except DLC that came out with the re-reckoning, Fate's Wind. So I've technically never done it. So I have not yet done everything there is to see in that game. And I am trying to do a because I've sort of seen everything there is to do in that game spread across multiple different playthroughs. So I haven't got one save file that is literally like every treasure chest, every side quest, every just everything. I haven't yet done it. There we go, lovely carving. Yeah, so that game I could do. What else? What else? What other DLCs are there? Technically, I haven't actually played the Yuffie DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know everything that happens in that DLC, purely because when it came out, I did not have a PS5, or did I have a PS5? No, didn't have a PS5, nor did I have money to pay another $120 to get that game again, plus the DLC. So I didn't, and because it had juicy story stuff, I needed to know what it is, so I watched all like the cutscenes and everything. Yeah, so I know what happens in it, but I've just never played it, so that's another option, possibly. Maybe. So is Daime, like, is what you add to the end of a... or a number to make it, like, first and second. So, like, Sun Daime, Ni Daime, Yon Daime. It's like, third, second, fourth. Because he said Juroku Daime, which would be 16th. Interesting. I'm learning Japanese. We are learning Japanese. yeah, oh yeah, that's right. So I went on my Switch last night. 'Cause I'm playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond at the moment, and there was because I think new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet information had come out. I hadn't seen it, so excuse me. So didn't know what was up. But then they're saying it does look quite good. The legendaries are motorcycles essentially, which I think is fabulous. And it sounds like you get them like at the beginning of the game. That's the impression I got. Was that you get them at the start of the game, which is odd. Is very, very odd to say the least. Because that's like a break from tradition, and technically you kind of get your legendaries right at the end because they're mouse, because they're like good Pokemon that are OP. But actually, are they OP? No, because by that point in the game, your starter Pokemon tends to actually be an absolute beast. It has been an absolute beast by that point. I mean, you have to beat the legendary, don't you? Yeah, so you can ride your legendaries, you ride your motorcycles, and I think you can fly them as well. So there's that. And so I think they're pulling in from Arceus a little bit, and just enlightened into like mechanics and everything, which I'm not against. And then the other thing they said, so you're like a student at a Pokemon Academy or something. So that's why you're wearing your little student outfit. And then they said, so there's like, what would be similar to? It'd be similar to Assassin's Creed Valhalla actually, and I suppose Odyssey in a way. Where there's like 3 story threads, and you can choose which one you go down, or you can choose the order that you do them, or even if you do them at all, I think is the intention. So if you don't want to do whatever the team, I don't know, they had recently, Team Skull, Team Snake, whatever. Anyway, yeah, so you can choose to do that one, or you can choose to do your gyms. Oh, and the gyms you can do in any order as well, which is weird. Because how are they going to do that? Are they going to scale them to your level? That's stupid, because the whole point is that you can grind. They're making a lot of changes, and I'm not entirely sure how they're changing them to deviate from I suppose the normal structure. Because for me, my favourite Pokemon games, my 3 favourite generations, let's say that. So one is, and I'm not counting remakes either. So Pokemon, Generation 3, Pokemon Alpha and Sapphire and Emerald are God tier, my favourite. Probably there's a bit of rose-colored glasses in there because it was hashtag my first Pokemon. But I just always have fond memories of that. Second would then be Sinnoh, Gen 5? Gen 4? Sinnoh came after Poet, didn't it? It's Gen 4, I think. I need to fact check on that one. That'll be probably my second one. Just because I felt it was... I don't even know how to describe it. Oh no, I just like it. And it's not because I'm playing Diamond at the moment. But anyway, I digress. And I think my third... I did find I liked... Did I like Sun and Moon? Or did I like X and Y? I think it might be X and Y. I think it's probably my X and Y would probably be my second favourite. My third, sorry. Yeah, X and Y. I actually quite enjoy it. Because the roller skates, the roller skates made you feel it. They felt great to use. Yeah, so Ruby and Sapphire #1, Diamond, Pearl and Platinum. Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald, Diamond, Pearl and Platinum, and then X and Y. You would think that they would have kept doing like the normal version, or like the third installment of a particular gem, because you'd think in this day and age of monetization and how much money can we milk from the same thing, you'd think that they would release that third version. Because I mean, technically they're selling the games again, and they could sell it at another premium price, and because it's got a little bit extra, you know, we could add it in, you know. But then I suppose when they're doing things with obvious dual names like X and Y, dual Z, Z, or then Sword and Shields, what would be a third one? X armor, Sun and Moon, which go stars. Yeah, so it's all that, I guess. Come on. Choji don't like you. There we go. Thank you. Because I think that they're trying to do a fair bit more with the Pokemon games now, because they would be extremely easy to criticize as being just the same thing over and over and over again with too little deviation. So they have to put in enough deviation to make it, some core thing that makes it be able to be its own game, its own yeah, because I mean, like, cause I can't think of what Johto is a different Kanto. I can't remember. I know it was something anyway, but but Hoenn introduced like contests. Sinnoh introduced the other contests and like the the Poketch in the Poketch something. And had still had contests, but then then they had like the ball capsules. You can put stickers on, and then when you throw your Pokeball out, it goes pling, with all the stickers and stuff. That was kind of cute. I do like that. Yes, they had that. What else? Then what was the next one up from that? Black and White. Confession, I've never actually played Black and White. Nor Black 2 and White 2. So, I can't comment. All I know is the theory that the bad guy... something, whatever his name is, I want to say K? feel like it's a letter. Is it K or whatever? Someone is, he's a Lucario. No, not a Lucario, a Zoroark. That's the one. A shapeshifting one. Yeah. I know about that theory. Or was it a game theory? Game theory, no. Anyway, so yes, I did it, so we'll skip. And X and Y had the whole, like the roller skates. And what else did they have? I feel they had something else to it as well. Can't remember. Sun and Moon had, rather than gyms, you had your garden Pokemon or your totem Pokemon, which were just like super mega versions of our Pokemon. And so it was that, and then Sword and Shield obviously had the wild areas, and then the mega giant Pokemon. Oh my goodness, I can't remember what it was. Right, Naruto 6 parts and Kushina. Now, while this isn't a little fight, I'll probably check the next one in the Tail Beast Ruins. Anyway, oh, that's right. What did X and Y? What did they have? They had Crystal. No, Z Crystals was Sun and Moon. X and Y had the Mega Evolution. Yeah. I think it was that one. No, Z moves. Z moves was Sun and Moon. Sword and Shield, Wild Area, and the gigantic Pokemon or something. And then, oh, Sword and Shield, that's right, they haven't let the crystal. It's got some kind of name, crystal. Well, it's essentially crystallization, where your Pokemon goes all like super crystals and everything, and then it gets like a little crystal chandelier on top of its head, and then it can do stuff. Something like that. Stell something. Anyway, stellization. Stellification. Something. Anyway. Yeah. And then I think because this is meant to be an open, like the first main series open world one as well. So yeah, so they are pulling from Arceus, which I think would be good. They run the risk though of having it, but then again it's Pokemon, of having things too bare, like not enough to see, like, and find. Like, you know, it's gonna, will you drive and just find some like crumbled ruins, and then I mean there's nothing story related that happens there, but it's just some flavour in what's going on in the world, and then, you know, because I'm all for developers that want to do a bit more. Oh my goodness. Right, got him. Yeah, all for the developers just sprinkling in those little bits and bobs that are all like, you know, something's going on. This world has some history. You know, gonna solve the mystery of finding out what's what. Oh, that's right, because I was watching a, what was his name on YouTube? I was watching a guy, he does some really interesting videos about just games and other stuff around it. But what was it? It was... what's his name? It's like Jacob Geller or something. Anyway, but he did one about Shadow of the Colossus. And the 10, I think I've been telling the boys, I don't know if I've said on here, but anyway, yeah, so there was a decade-long search to find the last secret that Shadow of the Colossus had. And what it was something, it was fascinating, the story behind it. But the story is really the thing, the what that last secret is kind of just like the cherry on top. But so there was someone on the Shadow of the Colossus forums that was like, when the game came out sort of thing, and it was like, I'm adamant that there is something here, like there is just something that like, because there was a bunch of stuff in the trailers, or there was something that gave the impression that there was like a secret to all of this. So they went scouring for like hidden areas, hidden collectibles, all these things. You know, they're adamant that there's just this mystery in the world that is there to be solved. And they had like all of these people scour the game top to bottom. And the things that they found were unbelievable. They found like some of the most random things. So they found like out of bounds, way off in the distance, there's like a bridge with like a giant gate just there, unused. Whether the developers had planned to use it for something and never did, and then just moved it out of the main game area, who knows? They found in the desert there's a particular spot where Wanda can so when he's on a Colossus and he's, you know, you're over the weak point, he's sort of like, he like does that crouch where he like holds onto it and then like stabs down with a sword, which you can only do, I think you can only do on the weak spots. There was one spot in the desert, nothing around it, you're not in a building or not in anything, where you could do that. Like, there was one spot you could do it, and it's like, oh, is that something? Like, is that something? Yeah, so they found that. There's like, what's it? There is like a giant door in one of the Colossus arenas. That you're like, can you actually get behind it? Is that where the last secret is, behind this door? There was that. There was Shikamaru is just being really aggressive for some reason. Why is he being so aggressive? Okay, well, I don't know why these fights are taking so long as well. How far are we in? Not even that far. I've only done 20 fights. It's like taking us a half an hour, goodness. Anyway, Sage. Yeah, so anyway, so people going on this big lifelong search and they couldn't find anything. And then, so basically it kind of seemed like this was all just a disguise, just getting all his, pants in a twist over nothing. And then I can't remember whether it was in the remake or the remaster, should I say. The remaster or the original. But so like basically after all these years and all these out of bounds stuff, or someone managed to do a no clip or basically get full, they managed to just fully clip out of bounds and just be able to fly everywhere. So they were able to, scour the world like they had not scoured it before. But again, it didn't turn up anything. There's nothing extra that was there to be discovered. So the search seemed futile. But I can't remember which one it is. I want to say it's in. I want to say it's in the remaster. They said, you know, right at the end of the credits, it said, special thanks to something. I don't know if it was the guy. I'm not sure if it was the guy who started the post or not. But it was something. And it says, and 109 or 108 steps to enlightenment. People are like, what steps to enlightenment? And so then the hunt began again in earnest. They're like, what is this? And what actually the developers had done was, as a tribute to this decade-long search, that's because I think the guy had passed away, I believe. I feel like the guy had passed away. Or maybe he was about to pass away. One of the two, something like that. In the game, they had, in the most random places, some of them you had to like do like a Skyrim climb up a mountain sort of thing. Like nothing that was out of bounds, all found within the thing of the game, but just in the most random, obscure places with these like little, I think they were like little yellow butterflies or something. There was like a little like yellow sparkly collectible, and when you went up to them and you interacted with it, or you did something, like a little like wind chime would play, and nothing else would happen. And so there was 108 or 109 of these in the game, and when you find them all, oh, thank you for the follow, much appreciated. Hello. The ELN. What's the ELN? I feel like I should know that. What's next to Sakura and Kakashi? Young Kakashi. Yeah, so you'd get all these 108, 109 things. And only once you've done all that. Oh, that's your name. That's your name. I like the ELN. I feel like I should. Oh. You support them. Okay. So, first off, I'm just gonna have to say, that I like to try and keep this place as family friendly as possible. So, alas, I ain't gonna condone that sort of stuff. So, anyway, moving back on. So, the yeah, where was I? 109 steps to enlightenment. Let's go back to niceness. So once you get all 109 of these things, there's like a door right at the middle tower bit, or wherever it is, that will now open. And once you go down, you go down this passageway or whatever, and you go down this passageway, and there's like a sword or something at the end, and that's it. There's nothing else. nothing else to this thing. But it was kind of like the developers in this tribute to this guy who's on this lifelong search to try and find the final hidden mystery. They decided, you know what, we will put the hidden mystery in, you know, why not? There is actually something to find. And that's what they did, so that's what they did. And I just think that is the most sweetest thing and the most fascinating thing, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I am just all for developers being like, I'm just absolutely all for developers just putting those little things in. Sakura, Naruto, Kurama. Oh, but before I do that, I need to update my list, because now we're down to 9,503. There we go. Lovely. I just need to pull that out and bring that back up. Boom, done. Alright, let's go. So this this guy on the YouTube channel did a really good video about it. It's about half an hour. So if you don't mind longer form ones, that would actually be a really good one if you're interested. He also did a couple of other good ones. What did he do? He talked about. Returnal. So Returnal, that like recent-ish game that came out, probably like early this year, I think it came out. Where it was like a what is that? And because I just thought it was just one of those games where you know, she's on a planet and then every time she dies she just goes back to the start, but there's like so much more to it than that, to the story. And because I don't have any intention of playing it purely because I know it would be difficult, because apparently people are saying it's like difficult, and I ain't about difficult. I'm about occasional hard bits in normal games. Normal difficulty games, I'm not more for that. More for PS2 difficulty curves, but not a game where it's difficult for difficult's sake. But yeah, but it was interesting too, because he was explaining how the gameplay was, you know, all in service of the message that the developers were trying to say. I am all for story and gameplay integration. So things in either the UI or just the way that the gameplay is that actually has a story explanation behind it. Like, and I don't mean that in the case of like, so what's a good example? I don't mean that in the case of Dragon Age Inquisition, because your Inquisitor can like close portals, therefore you can close portals in like the normal gameplay, like you just come across a portal and you can close it. That's the story and thing integration. Don't mean that, I mean like the more subtle ones. So things like, now I've got to try and back at what I'm saying with an example. I'll try and think of an example, probably not going to be able to do it. I know. Actually, no, I wouldn't even say it's gameplay and story integration. It's more like foreshadowing or like a fridge logic or something. But anyway, so Final Fantasy 13. We are a Final Fantasy friendly channel. Final Fantasy 13. Right at the start of the game, where you're meeting all your characters, stuff's going down it's the heading edge of the So basically, uninitiated. There is, I suppose, do I want to get spoilers? Like, yes, but by the end of the game it's not relevant. Like, it's not a, I've now ruined the game. It's just one of those things that when you know in hindsight it puts other things in perspective, but it doesn't actually okay. Anyway, so right at the start of the game, so your characters, they're all on a train and they go through a train and they're supposed to be taken down to like this, so there's like a world floating up in the sky and there's like a giant world. So imagine like a moon orbiting the planet essentially, but close to the giant space station. Anyway, so they're being taken down to what they think is the bottom world, which is where like criminals or people get banished to. But actually, they're all gonna be going into this big military zone, and they're just gonna be completely just executed, all of them. So they go in, train stuff starts happening in the train, all hell breaks loose, and so the people have now escaped and trying to fight for their lives, whatever. So this is where you meet all of the characters. Not all, most of the characters that you'll be playing as in your party, but when you start the fighting with them, so the battle system in 13 is that it's kind of like a mix. It's kind of like a ATB gauge where like a bar fills up and then you can do attacks once the bar's filled up, but rather than just being one attack per bar filling up, it's got segments. So for each segment that fills up to, you can do an attack for. Some attacks take 2 segment bars or whatever. So at the start, all of your characters have 2 ATB segments to start off with. After that level, when they become lessee, they get like branded by these like artificial gods essentially to be like their servants. Once they get branded as lessee, they are then able to use magic and their fancy abilities, but they get a 3rd ATB gauge as their just because they're now stronger, therefore they get a 3rd ATB gauge. You can get more, I think you can get a max of 6 over the course of the game, but that's once you're lessee and you're kind of like upgrading your abilities and stuff, you can get extra ATB segments. So, all well and good, whatever. So one of the characters that you meet at this time is a chick called Frizzyninja, who is like a little fairy. She's not actual fairy. She's this chick with red hair, or orange hair, and she's got this big thick Australian accent, and she's kind of like, hey, oh my god, like really, like playing the ditzy character ish. But kind of just like really nice and amicable. So as all hell's breaking loose, there's been like a giant in one of the seaside towns in this moon, not actually moon, but whatever. Think of it as a moon. In one of the seaside towns on this moon, there was essentially like a remnant or an artifact from a big war that happened between this moon and the surface planet years ago. And from that, any sort of like, I think it's actually called a vestige, anything that's kind of like from the below world is seen as sort of like contaminated and corrupted and needs to be purged. So all of these, so basically in the seaside town, they had this big giant vestige thing, and I found out that inside it was one of these gods, like these artificial gods from the bottom world. So basically the military is like, right, we need to purge this, and basically everyone in the seaside town, because they've all been in contact with it. So that's why they get sent on the train and executed. They think they're just going down to the bottom world, but they're going to be executed. So this vestige, or this big thing, is also being transported. So as part of the story, when everyone's fighting in this big military zone, they end up all going into the vestige because it's like huge. It's got like a big indoor space and everything. So when Vanille and this other kid called Hope, go into the vestige, they explore around. So they've got a little party, and then when you fight, Vanille has 3 ATB gauges. You think nothing of it. You just think, oh, she's probably been fighting for a bit, so she's got more experience. Therefore, that might explain why. Also, because Hope by that point in the game is just there's absolutely no hope, so he's useless. Well, he's not useless in fights. He ends up being really good medic and everything, but you know what I mean. Because then what happens is right at the end of that level, where you actually meet the artificial god and you fight it, then there's a big cutscene where everyone gets like, basically they get taken to like another dimension or something, and they get like branded with these like brands on them which marks them as a Lassie. And I don't know if, I was trying to think if the name's actually in that cutscene. I don't think she actually is. I'm not actually there. But basically she's already a Lassie. And so she doesn't need to be branded again. And because she's already a Lassie, of course she's got 3 ATB gauges. Like, it's explained in the story why she has 3 ATB gauges at that point in time. And so like, that's what I mean by gameplay story integration. That was the most long-winded, longest explanation, but I need to give context. If you ever know me or you work with me, I will ramble and talk the absolute house down, not because I have spite for others and I want to waste their time, but because genuinely I need to give. Why am I doing a Orochimaru's hideout? I need to give context to everything. Like, I need to fully understand all the intricacies and background for everything that I explain. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's why all my explanations when I'm trying to detail a concept are just so long. Yeah. So that's an example of gameplay and story integration. What else? Okay. What's another example? I can't have another example. a really good one, but I can't remember the spoilers. In fact, even me saying it, drawing attention to it, would be a spoiler. Okay, no, I can't do that. Trying to think of another non-spoiler one. Well, I mean, what, like a classic one, like an obvious one would be in like the OG Assassin's Creeds. You're into the reason why the UI is the way it is because you're in the Animus. You're in a computer essentially, highly advanced computer. So of course all the interface is there for you as the person in the Animus to be able to interact with the part. It's not just a stylistic choice. That's probably what the person in the Animus is seeing, most likely. He's actually seeing the UI. It's not just there for the player and they just put a nice extra skin on it because the Animus is here. Be that sort of thing. Orochimaru. do just a classic Dragon Ball Z move. Both of us are just standing there, charging up. Lovely jubbly. In fact, there's actually, now I think about it, rather than try and think of examples of gameplay and story integration, why don't we consult where I get all this information from, which is tvtropes.com, or .org, should I say. How do I just consult?
自分の言葉は曲げない。自信ついた気がする。
What have we got next? Oh, actually, I'll update my list because I'm down to 9493. Lovely jubbly. Okay, we've got Kiba again and Jugo. TV tropes. Game. And story integration, that's what we want. Because then on the flip side, there's gameplay and story segregation, where for particular reasons, they can't have the gameplay of something perfectly match what the story would imply happens, purely because it either just won't be very good game or whatever reason. E.g. Kingdom of Animal. Yes, while your character is the fateless one and can control fate, well not control fate, but untangle the threads of fate, it would kind of make them like impossibly powerful. Like they could just always avoid death, always be able to change the outcome of anything. Like, well, not always, because they do have to get energy and stuff for it, but it's that's kind of like the implication. Gameplay story integration. Let's see examples. Sliding TV tropes is what I want. Fun examples, don't want forms of game. Oh, Final Fantasy. Let's do that. Example subpages, that's what I want. I'm gonna go full Final Fantasy. You'll have hundreds of these. Final Fantasy compilation, let's go. this is segregation. So okay, example of segregation, gameplay and story segregation is when in Final Fantasy VII, when the part of when Cloud, Tifa and Aerith are dumped into the sewers from Don Quixote's middle, Tifa and Aerith are passed out on the ground and will not get up until Cloud pulls them. You can still run around and get into a range of fights, and both Tifa and Aerith will be there active in the party in the fight, because they're technically classed as part of the party still at that point, so the game treats them as active in a fight. So that is... I don't want to be on the segregation page, I want to be on the integration page. Don't want the sliding scale either, I just want to give me examples. Give me examples. Give me examples. Please. Okay. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Okay, RPG, you go Western. Who was I just playing as? Naruto. We'll go, yeah, Western RPGs. Okay, we'll find some good. Oh, hello. Oh, yes, please. Thank you. So I'll find some games that either I played so I can speak to them on a great level, or that, you know, I would say most people would have played because they're very similar statements. But, you know, the Skyrim world, essentially. So what have we got? Here's a good list for the Dragon Age fans. So, in Dragon Age Origins, so the first one, most characters can take 2 specializations in their class. Or no, of different classes, I think. Anyway, 2 specializations. But Sten, who's a Kunari, they're like a culture, a race, I think, can only take 1 specialization. Yeah, you'd be like, why is that? Is he just super strong so he doesn't need the second one? No, there's a story reason for it. So the Kunari culture have their whole way that they structure society is very, very caste-based, but you have your role, like whether that's a bodyguard or an artisan or a explorer or whatever, and like that's it. You take that very seriously. You do not deviate. You do not do multiple things. You've got your role in society, and that's your role. The people who sort of don't do that. Called, oh god, what are they? They've got a special name. I can't like remember what it's. Anyway, so the culture that Sting comes from has an over-crippling. One of their key virtues is that you specialise in one thing and one thing only. He can't learn, so he can't learn two specialisations, because in doing so is effectively against his religion. Oh, love it. Love it, love it. So... in the Imperial Legion questline... oh, sorry, this isn't Morrowind now. In the Imperial Legion questline... your superiors will refuse to give or accept quests unless you are in Imperial Legion armor, wearing body armor of a specific type that Legionnaires must wear while you're on duty. So you're not on duty if you're not in uniform, therefore they're not going to give you, or, you know, give you or accept quests and everything. Fabulous. Love it. Love it. Love it. Where are we? Ordinators, I think they're they're like the guards in the background. Like cool characters. Yeah, so Ordinators hold their Indoril armor sacred and consider it blasphemous and punishable by death if someone of the order is not someone not of their order wears it. Don't speak to them while wearing it unless you want to have them attack you. So if you're wearing armor, they're gonna be like, yeah nah, bolt, and they'll attack them. Because this is the actual story reason why. You can see why I love this one. Oh, Oblivion, here we go. Thank you. Did you just get it? Oh, did we go sleep? Yeah. Okay, so Oblivion. You start off in Oblivion without a class, but after you complete the tutorial levels, one of your allies can guess your preferred class based on how you beat the tutorial. Whether you sneaked past the enemies, fought them, whether you use magic or weapons. Your class plays no further role in the story, but the NPC has unique lines for all of them. Before I carry on, just do my next fights. Lovely. If you choose a class different but similar to his guest, a knight instead of a warrior, he'll comment that he wasn't far off, and it's wildly different from his idea, e.g. a battle mage instead of a thief. He'll be surprised and say that he'd never have guessed. Also even changes what he says based on how close he actually was to it. I love it. I love it. I'd say there's necessary game. Oh, actually no, would be gameplay and story information. Let's see that. We'll keep the Skyrim. At the start of the game, you can't understand dragons. Later on, however, they appear to start speaking to you in actual English. This is actually because as a Dragon Ball, you start learning words in the chronic language, which are gameplay terms, Scalpel 2000, which also lets you understand what the dragons are saying. I didn't even notice that. That is fabulous. Now I want to do another playthrough to see, to like test that out. Because obviously when you meet Alvin for the first time, he'll be talking fully in common. But then, yeah, later on in the game he doesn't speak to in English. He'd have no reason, he doesn't strike me as the type of dragon that would have a reason to. Whoa! Do you? No. But no, because I'm reading gameplay and story integration. So basically, like where certain like aspects of the gameplay actually is explained story-wise. Like with Dragon Age Origins, one of the kunai can only specialize in one class, whereas every other character can specialize in two, and that's because the kunai, their whole culture is that like you have your one role and that's it. So it's explained in the story. I love this. I love it so much. Anyway, so we're gonna go on a discovery of the example. Anyway, so that's one. What other one? Oh wow. So if you murder a Thalmor you only get a 40 gold bounty for the assault. You don't get you only get a 40 gold, it only gets classified as assault. It doesn't even get classified as murder. And in which case you get the 1,000 gold bounty. So you don't even get that. If you murder a Thalmor, you just get absolutely nothing. If the territory is controlled by Stormcloaks, you don't even get no punishment for killing any Thalmor. If you kill the Thalmor emissary in Markarth in particular, who's been a massive headache to the Oku Jarl, he'll even send you a thank you note with enough symptoms that you can pay off the bounty and still profit from it. Wow. Right. Obito and FUFS. Oh, here we are. Subtle light. This is now like digging at the player. Dragonborns have the soul of the dragon, and dragons are most well known for slaughtering anyone who stands in their path and collecting a great hoard that they don't typically need. What are the two most typical characteristics of player characters in RPG games? Killing everything in their path and amassing this great wealth, most of which you don't actually end up using. That's fabulous. I love it. What else we got? Mario, massive. That's stuff. That's fine. Okay. What do we got next? Oh no, what do I mean what we got next? Don't look at Kazakaki. Lovely. guess that's pretty much all the main ones anyway for Western RPGs. So let's go to my Eastern RPGs. Oh no, did I pick rematch? Right. Eastern RPGs. Okay, what are we next? Ah, that's right, Naruto. Actually, I now know which one it is. Tamari. Eastern Bloodborne. I know all of the story of Bloodborne, but I've only played about 20 minutes. Actually, no, I've got about a couple of hours into it, and then it's the game is all that. Oh, interesting. So Dragon Quest V, so that came out on the, I can't remember which console came out first, but I know they did a DS redo of it, which is the one I played. So you'll play a character without spoiling anything. Basically just a lot of bad stuff happens to them constantly, all the time. Like every part of his life, like something bad will happen, other than like the very end. And then when your characters level up, obviously all their stats increase, like their HP, MP, strength, defense, blah blah blah. And they also got luck stats as well. The player character, when he levels up, you watch his luck stat hardly ever goes up. And if it does, it only goes up by 1 point. So basically, your main character whose misfortune happens to has the lowest luck stat in the game. So of course he's going to have bad things happen to him. Dragon Quest 7, Dragon Quest 8. Final Fantasy 4. So, Rude, who's one of the chiefs, the guys like the black tuxedo business. Rude is he confesses to his partner and the player and the party hiding nearby that he has a crush on Tifa. One the player character, not the player character, in fights, when you do, there's a few fights in the game you can go up against them. Mostly first section or anything. Rude his character will never target Tifa in a fight. And if she's the only one standing, he'll never use his stronger attacks against her and refuses to attack at all 1/3 of the time. Wow. That's cool. be at a higher level than anyone else, and on the same level when someone is at the same level as him, so say they're both level 50, he will always be stronger than across nearly every stat. He'll always be. He is literally hard-coded in the game to be the strongest character. That's cool. Because technically, for story reasons, he should be the strongest character in the party as well. Story-wise, it wouldn't make sense for you to be, for example, to be stronger than him. Possibly Vincent, maybe, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna update my list because now we're down to 479. Lovely. Bring that up and drop it on there. So now we are, what are we? Hidan and Young Conqueror. Got him. Okay. Let's see. It's 5, it's 8. Here's a good one. 5 So limit breaks in Final Fantasy VIII story-wise are essentially they're like a desperation move. They're like a last effort, to save yourself kind of thing. And the worse and they kind of show up far more often. Basically, if you're all low HP, you've got dead party members everywhere, like, the worse off you are, the far more likely they are to show up. So, at the end of disc 1, is it? Yeah. Adia, who is the villain at the time, impales Squall with like an ice spike. She like summons this big ice spike and just impales him in it. So she's like, basically there's like a big parade that's going on and she's like on a big float and the party are trying to kill her essentially. What they do is they kind of like trap her. So she's got a bodyguard who's kind of like a former classmate of yours, and who's kind of like protecting her. So you kind of trap her, you incapacitate her and all that sort of thing. And so then, and that's then when she like summons the ice spike and impales her. When she, for reasons, she becomes a party member later on. When you get her, when you're able to do her limit break, it's the ice spike, which means, of course, if it's like a desperation move or whatever, you know, she's trapped, her bodyguard's like incapacitated, you know, she's the peeps have a pretty good plan, and you know, all that sort of thing. So she's like in a last ditch attempt, or desperation move, she does her limit break, which is the ice spike. I love it, I love it, I love it.
いつの日に変わるも父さんのように
So in Final Fantasy 9, if there's a couple of fights, where the boss is coded to only target certain characters or to only do certain things to against the character because for story reasons. So there's like one where you got bounty hunter, someone in the party. If she is in your party, or in the 3 in the fight, no, 4, sorry, of the 4 in the fight, and the other 3 members all get dead, the bounty hunter they'll cast a sleep spell, which will put the last person to sleep, and then that's it, the game's ended because their bounty is to get her, so that's what they're trying to do. There's that. Okay. Yamato and Shippuden. One of your piano fighters, one of your characters, she can summon things. For story reasons, she is like scared to summon them or like nervous to summon them. So as a result, the MP costs of her summons are like super high. Like she has to expend a lot of energy to summon them, probably because of her hesitance to do so. In the point in the story where she kind of gets over it, the MP costs are now like significantly lower, because she's like confident, she's like, yo, what's up, I'm a summon stuff, you know, so reason for that. Oh, fine, it's 10. Everyone's overdrives in Final Fantasy 10 are all related to the class that they're, or essentially their character on on what they are. So like Eunice, obviously she's a summoner, so her overdrive to be summoned. You know, she will summon well better because she can summon them with their overdrives already full. Tidus's overdrives are all based around speed, precision, and acrobatics because as a blitzball player, you need those skills to be a good blitzball player. Orin's is because he's a samurai essentially. It's all about like precision and things. So and timing. So what's that? Well, as a guardian, he needs to basically like be able to take his time with things and be a bit more precise with things. So the whole button and also his Bushido skills. He's able just to do like super strong things and actually no, one second. So you need to be good to do the pilgrimage. She needs kind of a Praetorian guard around her. And all the guardians are like, because I suppose one of like the key things that they want you to do in the game is to like, because each character is good, has a high strength against certain types of enemies. So like Tidus, I suppose Riku to an extent. The four-legged like wolf kind of looking things, he's super strong against those. Like he's not guaranteed to hit them every time, but he's far more likely to get a hit on them than the others. Waka can hit the flying characters. Riku can dismantle a machine and that's it, like one hit KO. Lulu her spells are super strong against elemental creatures, or in armored people. And so basically it's like any kind of enemy that she's going to come across on her pilgrimage, her party is there to help her out, she's not particularly strong, she's not actually strong against any of them. Her summons can be, but like, you're not going to summon Shiva for like fire elemental, some Ixion or water elemental sort of thing. And she's overkill. When hit by a lightning spell, so again, when you're hit by a lightning spell in battle, most of your party will simply grant the whatever. I can't do it right. Riku, on the other hand, will scream. Depending on where you are in the game, it will either be foreshadowing or explained, because she's got a fear of thunder. Fear of lightning and thunder. So of course when she gets hit by a lightning spell she's going to scream because she's like terrified. Love it. That's amazing. Just little things. And then in the sequel, when she's over her fear of lightning, she doesn't scream anymore when she gets hit by things. Oh, and then in terms of how the sphere grids are placed, so one of Riku's, I suppose, plot elements is that Lulu is kind of like to help master her fear of lightning. Lulu suggests that maybe she should learn some like rudimentary magic. So then, in terms of how the sphere grids, which is essentially the leveling, but like how you learn your abilities and increase your stats. Basically, you get spheres from battle and stuff, and basically you've got a grid and you can move along the grid then use spheres to fill in nodes and stuff. And technically it's one massive giant sphere grid with every ability and everything on there. But each character will start at a particular point. So at the end of the technically, if you fill down the entire sphere grid, every character will be able to do every spell and ability. Certain characters I think will, don't know if their stats will be the same at the end of the day. So that really doesn't become something you use, but to get to that point is like far beyond everything you get to in the base game, or like just casual play. But anyway, so Riku's sphere grid runs basically if you follow the natural progression that it wants you to follow. It will run straight into Lulu's one with the black magic. So I'm like, whoa, even then, Nanachi and Yangara. Alright, very subtle one. So in 10-2, where you don't have your main party like that, you've got Riku and who's like kind of like the obligatory goth character, essentially, like the edgy goth. And so she's very like with hair like ew, gross. So the key class mechanic is you have these things called dress spheres, which are almost like soul crystals in Final Fantasy 14. They've got like memories of someone or something that, you know, sort of the Dark Knight, like the memories of the Dark Knight. But anyway, the whole crux is that you change into fancy new clothes and then new clothes get powers. Yeah, so because there's a songstress dress sphere, which is it's the equivalent of the bard, the typical bard class, where it's all about like buff spells and things like that, and very like flamboyant or whatever. So every character can change into any dress sphere, but when Pain does it, she will complain about it. She'll be like, no, I don't want it. And then she'll also get very annoyed if you make her sing. And because when you do a dress sphere, you kind of have the option of, you have like the whole like Sailor Moon cutscene, or like the magical girl cutscene of like clothes particularly appearing on them. But Pain won't have one of those. Riku will, but Pain won't have cutscene changing into a songstress. She just hates it very much. So, in Final Fantasy 12, essentially the story explanation for like where magic comes from is there's like a substance called mist or whatever, which is where magic comes from, or the source of it. And so there's these two plot items, the manufactured Nephesite and Dawn Shard, and you can equip them as accessories in your any of the party members. They, for story reasons, they kind of like interfere with mist. They kind of, what's the word? Yeah, they kind of just interfere with it and don't cause it to happen or the mist around you. So when you equip them as accessories, they give you a permanent silence stat effect, which in Final Fantasy games means you can't cast any magic. They give you a permanent silence debuff, and your MP is reduced to 0. So of course, because it's interfering with the source of magic, so of course when you equip it as an accessory, it's going to interfere with the magic. I love it. Canelo, one of your characters, the little chick with like the blonde pigtail looking things, she makes her living, her normal living, makes money by being a dancer. All of her quickenings, kind of like your limp break essentially, ish. You can like chain them anyway. All of her quickenings involve her using various dances to cast spells, so she's like twirling and spinning and all that sort of thing. Because it makes sense if that's how she made it a living. A little bit. Just punch those sugar. So Bash, your knight Orn character, your Orn and your Barrett. He has the highest strength and possibly the highest damage. But he has the lowest vitality, which I think is the amount that your HP will go up. I think it might be how much debuffs affect you, how much damage poison does. Considering that he's just been rescued from 2 years of solitary confinement, malnutrition and torture, it makes perfect sense for him to have lingering health issues. Okay, right now again back to Final Fantasy. she uses it once and it cuts in and it breaks. She uses it once and it doesn't work after that. Like an anti-gravity generator thing, device that you can like kind of jump activate it and then go anti-gravity and plug that down to the surface. It sits in your inventory activate, like it's never used, never seen, never used beyond that initial cutscene. But Lightning, who's the one that uses it, when you're in a fight and a monster does like a launch ability or something, the character is flinging up, it will do damage when they hit the ground, except for Lightning. She won't take any damage when she hits the ground, because, presumably so, she's got her anti-grav device on her. So she goes boom, anti-gravs and just floats gently down. Even though you don't actually see that in the game, that's the implication. But that's the case. I'm like, oh. I love it. Subtlety. Oh yeah, and it mentions here about the ATB gauges I was talking about before. So here's one. So when your character, or when our character, is going through an internal mental crisis, or they're doing something which kind of, I can't remember if it's explained where it's either going against the mission that they've been given by the gods or whatever, or they're doing something that's gonna kind of essentially just set them on the right path again. When they get frustrated and they're just gonna pack it in or whatever, or they're just being mopey. They will basically, their summon will appear in a flash of fury, and they have to fight it, and then if they can beat it or get its gauge to a particular level, then you've got the summon. So when the first one that you do is for Lightning's one, which is Odin, and so he basically then what happened, she's wandering in this like a big junkyard essentially. She's wandering with this kid Hope, who's just mopey, whatever, and she's just getting increasingly frustrated at him. He keeps falling behind. She's like, I'm on a mission, let's go, and he's just he's not taking his time, but he's just being all like, I'm just like a 14-year-old kid, so I'm struggling, and she's just getting increasingly frustrated. She's like, oh my god, it's not wasting my time, blah blah blah. And then she basically just is taking out all her frustration on him, and then when that happens, her brand that she gets goes all crazy, and then Odin appears. And so then you have to fight Odin. And so in that fight, because he's appeared out of her frustration for Hope, Odin will target him. And so to be able to, so what you have to do in a fight is there's certain, so you have to fill up a gauge before the time runs out. And so to do that certain, basically it's almost like increasing your affinity for the summon, but certain actions will make the gauge fill up faster than others. So, for example, Snow, who's kind of like whatever, when his one appears, it's just in the fight, so blocking, like defending attacks, and that sort of thing, and magic combos will cause the gauge to increase. And yeah, so for Lightning's one with Odin, the actions that make the gauge increase are healing and defending Hope instead, which is kind of like what needs to happen for them to be able to, for her to be able to ultimately finish her mission or whatever. She needs him alive. So healing him and whatever is what the gauge Don't use any of their underpowered. A whole bunch of Kingdom Hearts stuff, but that's Kingdom Hearts in and of itself is just it takes an age to beat. Oh, I mean to explain, should I say? Okay, Haku. Persona, Pokemon. So wild Pokemon you just encounter, so Pokemon will have natures, like cool nature your personality. So when you're fighting a wild Pokemon, obviously that's their movesets, you know, the moveset that they would have at a particular level, and it just seems like it's just a random what ones they're going to do, but they will actually be using abilities that are more tuned to their nature. So if they're kind of like their, I can't remember what the actual like names of them are, but like if it's like the more like shy, diminutive ones, they'll be using defensive moves a lot more. Whether if they're like the hot-headed arrogant ones, they'll be using the more aggressive moves. And so that's actually like that, and then so the AI or the natures are actually like tied into the AI, and whereas legendaries, like rarer ones, their AIs will be a bit more intelligent, and that's just because generally they're more powerful and intelligent than just normal standard wild Pokemon. And then all the trainers themselves, strategies that they use make sense for the kind of trainers now. So newbies, or like young trainers, like youngster Josh or less Caitlin, whatever, they will, in terms of the strategies that they employ, they don't really have a strategy because they're so new to it all and so green, so they'll just be using whatever. Whereas stronger trainers, like ace trainers in Elite 4, they will be using like strategies and advanced techniques because obviously they're more experienced, they know what they're doing, that sort of thing. Rich boy trainers, you know, the billionaires of the world, they will be throwing out next potions, full restores, like the really expensive ones, to heal their Pokemon. Even though in situations where they don't particularly need them, that's not actually going to do much. But with the and, they're also going to be holding, more likely to hold nuggets, just because they're wealthy. So of course they're going to be using expensive healing items. Characters, their Pokemon going to be holding expensive things just to flaunt their wealth. Love it. So in Red and Blue, and obviously the remakes, Fire Red and Extreme, so there's like a sleeping Snorlax on the road that you need to wake up, and you get like a flute, poker flute to do that. And then you think, oh, I don't ever need that poker flute ever again. But no, you actually can use that poker flute in battle many times as you want, to wake up any Pokemon that has had trying to say? That's asleep. Like, you can, that poker flip will work in battle. Because obviously it wakes up sleeping things, as we saw this morning. Fabulous, fabulous. Fabulous.
なおも高みを目指す。それがヒューガの宿命。八家64章勝負あり。まだまだ。
And that's the name of the bad guy in black and white. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Here's and this will be the last fight, I think. Lovely. Okay. Next time we'll do gameplay story integration because I'm loving this. Anyway, so I will leave it there and I will just update the list because now we're down to 57. Alright, next time we'll drop from a 5 down to the 4s and then next time will be the 3s. Lovely. So yeah, I'll leave it here. Next week will be another normal week, I think. Possibly, yes. With some more Naruto, day 27 and 28. More Spider-Man. And more Forgotten City, which I'm loving. Oh my goodness, I'm loving it so much. Anyway, so I will catch you all later. Have a fabulous morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you may be. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.